It's almost that time again. It's almost that time again. We're almost back. Preseason basketball for the WNBA is on the way, about 6 or 7 days away for having preseason basketball. 7 months it's been since we last seen Caitlin Clark and also the Indiana Fever. Also, the playoffs in the NBA is going on right now. Very exciting. But I want to talk about some betting odds. I want to talk about if you're a betting person, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're over 18 plus, you could be a teenager, of course. But the betting odds have been released. And I find it very interesting that for all the people that did not believe in Caitlin Clark and all the people that were hating on Caitlin Clark, Vegas is not like those people because Vegas generates their odds based on the numbers, based on they formulate everything through a system. And that's why we have the betting odds. That's why we see the betting odds that we see. If I was a betting man, and sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm not. But you look at some of these odds and you see just Vegas basically saying that the Indiana Fever won the offseason. They're also basing things on Caitlin Clark's rookie year, and she's entering year 2. And they're saying, like, Caitlin Clark has a possibility to win MVP going into her second season, which would be phenomenal, which would be crazy, which would be unprecedented. And when we talk about these odds, first of all, I want to talk about the NBA final, the WNBA Finals odds, because I feel like it brings into account who do you believe in, and sometimes, even though I believe that the Indiana Fever odds should be as high as they are, but also we never seen this Indiana Fever team on the court. We know they have made massive moves. They won free agency, in my opinion. The Indiana Fever won free agency. So I understand why their odds are extremely high. And also they're banking on Caitlin Clark improving. They're banking on Leah Boston, banking on Kelsey Mitchell and that chemistry. And then you tap in with Sophia Cunningham. Then you tap in with DeWanna Bonner. You tap in Natasha Howard. They got real vets now. Their depth is better. They got players that have playoff experience. They got players that are tough. They got players that are going to contribute right away to this young Indiana Fever team, and that's what you need. It's no longer building out a championship just having a big 3. You need to have a 4 through 8, whether that's in the WNBA or whether that's in the NBA. You need to have a 4 through 8 roster of players that can be interchangeable, as well as having star players as well. So when we're talking about the offseason, the Indiana Fever dominated the offseason, massive offseason. That's why we see the betting odds of them being second overall to win a WNBA championship in the preseason is what we're seeing right now. Now, of course, things change, injuries happens, things don't work out. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but Vegas believes in the Indiana Fever. And I'm telling people that you should believe in the Indiana Fever. Indiana now has a formidable squad. They have a team that is mixed with young talent and also veterans. They have young elite talent. Aaliyah Boston, one of the best centers in the game, best passing big in the game. Caitlin Clark, the best point guard in the world on the women's side, top 5 basketball player in the world on the WNBA side as well. We know her scoring, her passing, something we've never seen before. They also have Kelsey Mitchell, who I believe is the best pure hooper in the WNBA, to go along with that tandem with Caitlin Clark and with Kelsey Mitchell, that electric backcourt, the most electric backcourt and exciting backcourt in the WNBA. And they also work very well together, with Kelsey Mitchell being able to play off of Caitlin Clark. And it's like a quarterback wide receiver type of combination, and their ability to play fast. And DeWanna Bonner came out and basically she was talking about how in practice they play really fast, and some going to take some getting used to, because we know DeWanna Bonner is older, but that's why you have Sophia Cunningham. That's why you have Lexi Ho as well, that we can kind of like throughout the regular season, you can take it a little slow, and then when it gets time for the playoffs and a half-court game, that's when we'll see DeWanna Bonner really shine. But they built a squad. They built a squad, a mix of veterans and young elite talent, and a rare combination of experience and future superstars. And that's what you need in today's game, and the WNBA side, and also the NBA side. You need depth. And when parity is as strong as it is in the NBA and the WNBA, you got to have depth, because no longer, I don't believe anymore, that you could just form a big three and that's going to be enough, especially without having the depth when we talk about the 4th through 8th on the basketball court, especially when we get into the playoffs. But the Fever are plus 350 to win the 2025 WNBA Finals. Tied for the second best odds with Las Vegas Aces. And we know the Las Vegas Aces, they kind of swapped out. Kelsey Plum went to LA. She's going to be playing with the Sparks. They got Jewel Lloyd coming in from Seattle, going to play with and join in Jackie Young and also Asia Wilson. They're still going to be very formidable. They're still going to be a great team. So they're tied with the Indiana Fever for the second most odds to win the WNBA Finals. And then, of course, the New York Liberty at plus 230, the defending champs, the reigning champs, still, I believe, the best team in the WNBA. But also, don't be surprised, because once again, the Fever at plus 350, and so is Vegas at plus 350. The New York Liberty, I still believe it's the best team in the WNBA. They're at plus 230. They're the favorites to go out and win. But Minnesota, who just came off a Game 5 against the New York Liberty, they are plus 400. I think they're too low. I think they should be higher than Vegas and also the Indiana Fever, because they're proven the defensive tenacity that they bring, and also Nefesta Collar is arguably the best basketball player in the world. I feel like people continue to underrate her. She continues to not get the respect and credit that she deserves, but she is a force offensively and defensively. When we talk about a player that can score in a variety of ways in every spot on the basketball court, on the ball, off the ball, and also can guard and defend 1 through 5, she is a problem. She is a force. I think the Minnesota Lynx should be higher when we talk about the betting odds for them to go off and potentially win a championship this upcoming year. But once again, Vegas believes in the Indiana Fever, plus 350. The new incoming additions of Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and DeWanna Bonner are going to be very, very great for the Indiana Fever, and they're going to be able to interchange the lineup so well. They're going to be able to play 4 out, 1 in. They're going to be able to go a small ball lineup. They're going to be able to go a 3-point just shooting lineup. It's going to be so many different lineups, and also they have a new head coach that's going to really elevate their game and also hopefully elevate the Indiana Fever defensively, because we know that is something that the Indiana Fever struggle with. So when we talk about the betting odds for the WNBA NBA Finals, Fever at second favorite to go out, plus 230. I feel it. I definitely think the Minnesota Lynx should have been number 2, but I feel it. But now this is the one. This is the one where people are talking about early MVP favorites. The top 2 MVP favorites for the upcoming 2025 regular season are Asia Wilson. She's at plus 200. And then we got Caitlin Clark at plus 235. Now, Asia Wilson is the heavy favorite again. Asia Wilson just came off a historical season last year. First player in WNBA history to score over 1,000 points. We know she's a walking bubble, average 27 points per game, 10 rebounds, plays defense, plays offense. She's literally unguardable, one of the most unstoppable forces we've ever seen on the WNBA side. To me, I think she's the best wing the league has ever seen. That's how talented she is. That's how athletic she is. That's how skilled she is. She is a force to be reckoned with. Literally unguardable. And she plays the game with a lot of passion. She plays the game with a lot of heart. So it's no shocker that Asia Wilson is coming in at the early favorite to win the MVP. But I will say, with Caitlin Clark being at plus 235, already the second best odds before the regular season even start. The media hype can go both ways, because we have some media that like to support Caitlin Clark, likes to talk about her game, likes to talk about all the great things that she does. And we got also some media that hates on Caitlin Clark and also hates on the Indiana Fever because they feel like she's been crowned. She's been given things. She hasn't earned all this recognition when her game speaks for herself. So even though she's at a plus 235, I believe that she can win the MVP, and she's going to win the MVP eventually. But it's one of those things where I don't think she's going to win this year. I know some people are going to say if she does win, people are going to point to voter fatigue with A'ja Wilson. They're going to sit up and say things like that. That's why A'ja Wilson didn't win. But to be honest, Nafessa Collar could have won the MVP last year, and I think Nafessa Collar should be higher up in the MVP standing. She's at plus 500, and I think she is an underrated superstar. And if Minnesota wins a lot of games and she's playing extremely well like last year, offensively and defensively, because she won the Defensive Player of the Year award this past year, I think she can go out and win the MVP and possibly Defensive Player of the Year award again. But for Caitlin Clark, I just feel like we don't know what to expect with the media. There was so many people that were talking about she's not going to be a first-team all WNBA player. And I was telling pump the brakes. Yes, she is. The girl's extremely talented. She's a top 5 basketball player in the WNBA, even though people didn't want to admit it, that she was dominated, especially the second half of the basketball season, even though some people are going to say Sabrina Ionescu should have been on that first team, but Sabrina Ionescu kind of tailed off a little bit towards the second half of the season. But I feel like Caitlin Clark can go out and win. Chat, I feel like she's a series MVP contender. But also, it's going to be interesting to see what Caitlin Clark's numbers look like. I don't know if Caitlin Clark's numbers are going to be – it may not even be what they were last year, because the fact of the matter is she has more talent on her team. She has more players that are going to expect to still have the same stats that they had. You know, Natasha Howard already came out and said she expects to be averaging 15 to 18 points again. So you already see like Caitlin Clark being a great and prolific passer. Maybe her assists increase and maybe her points decrease, but she's still closing out games. She's still being dominant. She's still hitting key buckets. And you got to understand the WNBA is only 10-minute quarters. So who knows? I'm very interested to see what Caitlin Clark's numbers are going to be. I don't know. Maybe it's 20-10 this year. Maybe she ups it, or maybe it's 15-12. Like I feel like it can go either. It can go different ways. I really do. But if her numbers increase, I feel like, and the Indiana Fever are a top 2 to top 3 seed, she's going to increase her chances. If her number decreases, then people are going to talk about, well, her points per game decreased, but her assist total increased. But I don't know how people are going to judge it. I feel like personally, she may go out and have a Steve Nash type of year. I feel like Caitlin Clark can have a Steve Nash type of MVP season. 16-12, 15-12, and win the MVP or be in MVP considerations. But it's going to be hard when you see A'ja Wilson averaging 27 and 10 again, and then Nafessa Collar, she's probably going out and averaging anywhere between 24 to 28 and 10 again, and playing both sides of the basketball court. So I do not know. I do not know. So, and then we got Breanna Stewart. She's always in contention. You know, and this past season, she was playing a role where she was getting a lot of people involved. She was being very unselfish. And don't get it twisted, though. She kind of like let Sabrina Ionescu shine a little bit more this past year. But Breanna Stewart, when she wants to kill, she can kill. She's at plus 650. But Caitlin Clark, coming in at 235, I just don't know, because I don't know what version of Caitlin Clark we're going to get with the acquisitions that her team has acquired. Natasha Howard, Sophia Cunningham, and also DeWanna Bonner. You got players that are veterans. You got Kelsey Mitchell, and you got Aaliyah Boston. It's not enough. Put it like this. I'm not going to say it's not enough ball to go around, but somebody's production is going to have to dip. We saw Leah Boston production dip from her rookie season to her sophomore season. That was really her being the third option. I think when you have Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Caitlin Clark, those are your big three. I think everybody else has to get around those three. But if you have expectations, then like Natasha Howard that was scoring 18 points per game, even though her team was losing in Dallas, and then DeWanna's averaging 12, she's, and Sophia averaging 8, and you got Lexi Ho averaging 6. Where is somebody's going to have to take a dip in production? And Caitlin Clark being so unselfish and such a prolific passer and a dynamic playmaker, and attention draws into her. She has now more weapons for her use. I can see that assists increasing, and I can see the point production kind of decreasing, but also I can see her efficiency increasing as well. So it's going to be real. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited, very excited. And then it's going to be a fun season. I'm very happy that the WNBA season is approaching. Preseason is about to start in 6 or 7 games. Caitlin Clark is about to go out and have her second season. No more talk about the Rookie of the Year. No one talk about the historic seasons now. What? Let's build on that. Is she going to have a sophomore slump? Is her point production going to decrease? Is it going to increase? Is her assists going to work? Is this new form team around the Indiana Fever going to get it popping? Is it going to be fast-paced offense? Is it going to be more of a half-court run your offense through your bigs? Because Stephanie White, that's what she likes to do back when she was in Connecticut Sun. How are they going to be defensively? It's all these different questions and layers that people are going to have that we're going to finally get a chance to see and witness. But I think the Indiana Fever are going to be really good. I think the odds represents what their potential can be for is second to win the WNBA Finals, second for Caitlin Clark to possibly win an MVP. I'm fine with those odds. Vegas believes. I also believe. But we have to see it first. See it to believe it. Because Vegas can say anything. People, we seen big threes form with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, and they never made it to the NBA Finals. So we don't know what's going to happen, because that's why when you step on the basketball court, that's when things get real. But it's your boy, Mark K. Smith. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow me on AKIS NBA Talking. Always the WNBA and also the NBA. Always remember, faith without works is dead, and also trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. Always acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. I am gone, man. Peace.